Ever wondered what makes Cuban food so delicious and unique? Let's dive into the magic of Cuban cuisine. This vibrant culinary tradition is a delightful fusion of Spanish, African, and Caribbean flavors, creating a distinct and diverse gastronomic experience. With an array of dishes that tantalize the taste buds, Cuban cuisine truly stands out in the world of cooking. Today, we're going to take a closer look at 20 of the most famous Cuban dishes. So, brace yourselves as we embark on a mouth-watering journey through the heart of Cuban cuisine. Before we plunge into the core of Cuban cuisine, let's offer you a brief overview of what's en route. This way, you can fast forward to a particular dish that intrigues you, or simply savor the entire gastronomic voyage. To kick off, we'll be exploring the food classic ropa vieja at 1 minute 32 seconds. Subsequently, we'll immerse ourselves in the earthy flavors of moros y cristianos at 1 minute 50 seconds, and the rich taste of boliche at 2 minutes 10 seconds. We'll shift into the scorching world of vaca frita at 3 minutes 40 seconds, succeeded by the hearty arroz con pollo at 4 minutes, and the fresh barbecued pleasure of pargo a la plancha at 4 minutes 30 seconds. As we venture into the sweet side of Cuban cuisine, we'll be concocting a silky flan at 6 minutes, a soothing arroz con leche at 6 minutes 30 seconds, and the irresistible pastelitos at 7 minutes. To balance it all out, we'll be blending two iconic Cuban cocktails, the invigorating Cuban mojito at 8 minutes 40 seconds and the timeless Cuba at 9 minutes. And to wrap up our culinary expedition, we'll be basking in some sweet guava pastries, velvety tres leches cake, and a cup of potent Cuban coffee at 9 minutes 30 seconds. So strap in and prepare your palate for an extraordinary journey through the universe of Cuban cuisine. Now, let's get cracking. Kicking off our gastronomic adventure, we commence with the iconic dish, ropa vieja. This delectable shredded beef stew, cooked leisurely over 240 minutes with tomatoes, bell peppers, and a variety of spices, symbolizes the core of comfort food. The recipe requires a flank steak, tomatoes, bell peppers, onions, garlic, and your selection of spices. Initiate by searing the steak until it's browned for approximately 15 minutes. After that, slow cook it for 180 minutes with your mixture of tomatoes, bell peppers, onions, garlic, and spices until the meat is tender enough to be easily shredded. The outcome is a dish with a savory and slightly tangy flavor profile that will leave you longing for another serving. Moving forward, we encounter moros y cristianos, a traditional Cuban dish made from black beans and rice. Despite its unassuming appearance, it's the fusion of cumin, oregano, and bay leaves cooked for 90 minutes that imparts it an earthy flavor that is immensely satisfying. For this, you will require black beans, rice, cumin, oregano, and bay leaves. The preparation commences with a 720-minute soak of the beans. Following this, they are cooked with the spices for 60 minutes, and finally mixed with the cooked rice. Third on our menu is boliche, an enticing pot roast stuffed with chorizo. Its robust flavors are due to a 180-minute slow braise in a rich broth of wine, onions, and garlic. The required ingredients are a beef roast, chorizo sausage, wine, onions, and garlic. Start by searing a beef roast for 15 minutes and stuffing it with chorizo. Then braise it in the broth of wine, onions, and garlic for 165 minutes until the meat becomes tender and rich in flavor. Next in line are tostones, deep-fried plantain slices cooked for around 10 minutes. Lightly salted and crunchy, these golden bites are the quintessential side dish to complement any meal. Rounding up the first five is the globally renowned Cuban sandwich, a 10-minute culinary delight with ham, roast pork, Swiss cheese, pickles, and mustard. It's an ensemble of flavors encased in a crispy, toasted loaf. But this is just the appetizer. Let's proceed to delve further into more appetizing dishes. Let's begin our culinary journey with the robust and mouth-watering vaca frita. Its name directly translates to fried cow. To craft this dish, gather shredded beef, lime, garlic, and salt. Initially, the beef is left marinating in lime, garlic, and salt for a duration of 40 minutes or 24 hours. This allows the beef to deeply absorb all the flavors. Following this, the beef is swiftly pan-fried in a sizzling skillet for 10 minutes until it's crispy and golden brown, a real treat for meat lovers. Now, we move on to the universally loved comfort food, arroz con pollo. Gather the following ingredients: chicken, rice, saffron, cumin, and other spices as per your preference. Commence by sautéing the chicken in a pot for approximately 10 minutes until it turns golden brown. Next, Introduce rice to the pot along with spices like saffron and cumin, and let this concoction simmer together for about 20 minutes. What you're left with is a flavorful one-pot meal that's both hearty and scrumptious. Next, we dive into the marine realm with pargo a la plancha. The primary ingredients for this dish are a fresh red snapper, salt, and pepper. The red snapper is delicately seasoned with salt and pepper before grilling it 12 minutes on medium heat. The result? A crispy skin and tender flesh. Ensure to flip the fish halfway through grilling, approximately after 6 minutes, to facilitate uniform cooking and allow the fresh marine flavors to truly stand out. Our fourth savory stop is the tantalizing picadillo, a richly flavored ground dish. It's cooked with tomatoes, olives, and a unique blend of spices for a total of 15 minutes, offering a delightful balance of savory and sweet. We conclude this segment with the medianoche sandwich. This favorite midnight snack contains ham, roast pork, Swiss cheese, all snugly tucked into a sweet roll. We're halfway through our culinary tour and the flavors are just escalating. Let's dive into the details of our 11th dish, the delightful flan. This creamy custard dessert, adorned with a velvety layer of caramel, melts effortlessly in your mouth. To construct this masterpiece, gather these ingredients: 1 cup sugar, 3 large eggs, 1 can, 14 ounces, sweetened condensed milk, 1 can, 12 ounces, evaporated milk, and 1 teaspoon vanilla extract. First, create the caramel by melting the sugar in a saucepan over medium heat, then pour it into a baking dish. In a separate bowl, whisk together your eggs, then add milk along with the vanilla. Pour this mixture over the caramel in your baking dish, and bake it in a water bath at 350 degrees for approximately 3,600 seconds. The flan's tantalizing texture and rich taste are sure to captivate your senses. Following the flan, we have arroz con leche, the comforting rice pudding. It's a blend of milk, sugar, with a dash of vanilla, and a sprinkle of cinnamon for a comforting treat. Now, to create this dish, you'll need 3/4 cup uncooked white rice, 2 cups milk, 1 tablespoon butter, 1/4 teaspoon salt, 1/2 teaspoon vanilla extract, and 1/2 teaspoon ground cinnamon. Combine the ingredients in a saucepan and let it simmer until the rice becomes tender and the mixture thickens, approximately 1,200 to 1,500 seconds. This creamy delight offers an unforgettable play of textures and flavors. Next are pastelitos, flaky pastries filled with cheese or meat. The ingredients you require are 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, cold 1 large egg, 1/4 cup of cold water, 1 cup of guava paste or cheese or meat, 1 tablespoon of milk and sugar for sprinkling. Start by preparing the pastry dough. Mix the flour and salt. Incorporate the butter into this mix until it takes on a crumbly texture. Add the egg and cold water. Knead until a dough forms. Roll out your dough and fill it with your choice of ingredients. Seal the pastries, then bake at 375 degrees Fahrenheit until they turn golden, typically taking 1,200 to 1,500 seconds. The crispy exterior and delectable filling make pastelitos a delight to the senses. Moving forward, we have chicharrones, or fried pork rinds, and then empanadas, half-moon-shaped pastries stuffed with a variety of fillings. Their golden crust and golden crust and savory filling make them a crowd pleaser. Are you ready for the... Prepare yourself for a flavorful journey through the iconic Cuban mojito. To create this refreshing mix in approximately 10 minutes, assemble the following ingredients: 10 fresh mint leaves, 1/2 lime, 2 tablespoons white sugar, 1 shot Cuban rum, and half a cup of soda water. Start by muddling the mint and sugar together in a glass for around 2 minutes, which will help to release the essential oils from the mint and dissolve the sugar. Then, in the next minute, squeeze in the juice of half a lime, add a shot of rum, and fill your glass with crushed ice. Complete it with soda water, stir to mix for another minute, and voila, a mojito, the perfect companion to a warm Cuban sunset. Now let's prepare the Cuba Libre in about 5 minutes. The ingredients for this classic drink include 2 ounces of rum, juice of half a lime, ice, and cola to top it off. Pour your rum into a glass that has been filled with ice, which will take about a minute. Then, within the next minute, squeeze in the juice of half a lime and then fill the rest of the glass with cola. Don't forget to garnish with a lime wedge. Moving on to the sweet guava pastries. Here are the ingredients: puff pastry sheets, guava paste, and 1 egg for brushing. Preheat your oven to 375 degree F during 15 minutes. Roll out your puff pastry sheet, cut it into squares, and spoon guava paste in the center of each square in about 10 minutes. Fold each square diagonally to seal the paste in. Crimp the edges with a fork. Brush each pastry with a beaten egg for that shiny golden finish. Bake for about 25 minutes or until golden brown. Now let's delve into the creamy goodness of the tres leches cake. Necessary ingredients include a sponge cake, a cup of evaporated milk, a cup of condensed milk, a cup of heavy cream, and whipped cream for topping. Bake a simple sponge cake as per its recipe, allow it to cool for 15 minutes, and then stab it all over with a fork. Then, within the next 5 minutes, mix the evaporated milk, condensed milk, and heavy cream together and pour over the cake. Make sure it soaks in evenly. Lastly, top with a generous amount of whipped cream in the next 2 minutes. Lastly, the robust Cuban coffee. For this, you will need 1 to 2 shots of espresso and 1 to 2 teaspoons of sugar. Brew a strong espresso shot in 3 minutes in a separate bowl, whip some sugar with a small amount of espresso to create a crema, then pour the rest of the coffee over it in the next 2 minutes. We have journeyed through of the most famous Cuban dishes, each with its own unique recipe and time frame. Cuban cuisine is truly a delicious blend of cultures, flavors, and cooking traditions. Until next time, keep exploring and